Stephen?
Yes.
It's kind of funny to think, isn't it? If we didn't meet on LinkedIn, we probably wouldn't have met.
Never.
Can you imagine? I mean, I'm from Sydney, you're from New Jersey,
Yes.
and here we are in Manhattan. And this is not a bad view here either.
No, it's nice.
It's kind of like the authentic connection that you can make on social media, isn't it? Like from across the world. And yeah.
This is the authentic connection. If you don't reach out, you don't talk to somebody, you don't be your authentic self, how can somebody get to know you to decide, I want to talk to you, want to speak to you, want to engage with you, want to do business with you, want to hang out and have a coffee, a cuppa?
Yeah, that's right. And I like the way your posts on LinkedIn, like you do a lot of research into them. You're genuinely wanting to connect with people. Like it's not just part of how you do business with people, is it? But you're wanting to share a lot of yourself and professionally as well as your personal interests and the like. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I used to do every Friday, I would do what I call a personal post, where I would come up with something personal, whether it be my family, my wife, myself, my likes, and I would post about that in a manner which would try to get the personal connection out to show people what I'm about, what I'm like, what my likes, my dislikes are, who I am as a person, to the point where I can put myself out there and people can decide, do I want to speak to him, do I want to engage with him, based upon not what I appear to be, but what I actually am. Morning, everyone. I'm here today in the Kings County Supreme Court, located in Brooklyn, New York. I'm here today to give oral arguments on an important case. Unfortunately for me, it's a hostile crowd, hostile judge, hostile opponent. Of course it's hostile. It's the County of Kings. What else would it be? But I can barely contain myself. After 28 years, I still get excited. Going in, orally arguing case, getting up, standing up for my client, and making my presence known and making the best case I can. But the hard work is done. It's all about preparation beforehand. Today's the easy day. Today's the fun day. Get up, stand up in court, state my piece, and make my case for my client. That's the best we can do. Because as I always say, we don't get paid for our good looks. We get paid to win. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Have a great day.
Yeah, I love that. And I like as well that your whole approach to doing law is quite distinct as well. Like we're used to billable hours, 6-minute increments and the like, but you guys have a very different take on how to work with people, don't you? I love this.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to work with people where they're not hesitant to pick up the phone. They know that they can reach me. They know that I'm available. They know that I'm here to help them, but you take away the billable hour, you take away the disincentive for somebody to call you. I want to incentivize clients to call, because the more that they call, the better I can help them, the better I can help guide them, the better I can prevent problems rather than react to problems. I'm more about saying, if a lawyer can be one of two things, which would you want them to be? Usually there's two available. One is you're either going to be a doctor or you're going to be a firefighter. A doctor will come in, give you a test, give you a checkup, make sure you stay healthy. If you find a problem, then you resolve the problem before it becomes a major issue. Or I could be a firefighter where you wait until a problem happens, aka a lawsuit, and then you're going to reach out to somebody, and I would then respond and say, okay, I can come in, I can help try to resolve the issue, but there's going to be damage, it's going to be costly, and I can't guarantee the cleanup is going to be as nice and cozy as if I was here to prevent the problem in the first place. So which would you rather me do? If I'm the firefighter, then that means that you're also going to have opportunity costs that are gone. You're going to have the time of the C-suite to be able to say, instead of focusing on business and the operations of business, growing the business, you're focusing on the lawsuit and defending the lawsuit. Who wants to spend their time reacting to a problem rather than proactively preventing problems?
Makes it easier for you, doesn't it?
It makes it easier, but it's also more enjoyable for a person who's business-minded to be able to say, which is preferable? To be able to chart your own course or to be able to respond? I'd rather chart my own course and say, I want to be the trusted advisor. I want to be able to help guide somebody through growth, through the times when they're going to decide, are we going to expand, or are we going to contract, and guide them through the legalities and the business aspect of it, rather than only come in when there's a lawsuit or a problem. Those are cleanup methods. I think using a lawyer as a means to clean up your problems is going to be less effective than preventing the problem in the first place.
Yeah, it's smart. Now, here we are at One Battery Park.
One Battery Park.
Quite a lovely spot we're in.
Yeah.
And you've been doing law for, what, nearly 30 years, you were saying?
Nearly 30, 29 years. It's been a hell of a ride, but I do enjoy it. I do enjoy counseling clients. I enjoy preventing problems from happening. It's I guess you have to experience the times of being in the position of how do you resolve the problem first, and then you can learn how to prevent the problem. But until you know how to resolve it, you can't prevent it.
In 30 years, I mean, you haven't been doing it this way the whole time, have you? Was there a point where you thought, oh, there's got to be a better way to do this? Like, when did you decide to try this approach to helping people? And did you notice it was suddenly became, you achieved better results in a shorter period of time? Was that the kind of the thing that you noticed? Or?
I stumbled upon it,
Right.
falling into it backwards.
Right.
I did not create this as a means, or I didn't come up with the thought of doing it as a means to say, oh, this is a better way. I did it out of necessity. One of my best clients, who's still a client to this day, had said, 1 month you charge this, another month I get a bill for this. I can't be going back and forth all the time. I said, well, what do you want me to do? This is how lawyers bill. He said, well, unless you come up with something different, then I'm going to have to go elsewhere. I really like you, but I have to have finality. I have to know, can I afford this? I have to know what my bills are. This isn't helping me.
And you listened to what they said.
Listen to what they said. And I aimed to always provide, but this was one instance. I didn't want to lose the client. I had a great relationship with him.
When was this?
2003.
And what do you do? I mean, that's a conundrum, right? Because if lawyers have just always done it this way, and you're saying you don't want it, like, how did you set about starting to think about this technique or this approach?
It was through the first client who I did the flat fee, flat monthly arrangement instead of a billable hour, where I realized that I was cleaning up their messes, but in the process, they used me to proactively prevent problems. And then I had the light bulb moment, why don't I do this for other people? So I started scoping it out. What's the scope of what you need me to do? What do I think you need to have me come in to help you with? What can I do to help move your business in a positive direction? And being able to scope it out and say, this is the scope, this is the cost. And I very clearly say to clients and prospective clients, they say, how do you know that this is the right price? I said, I don't. But based upon my experience, this is what I believe it to be. But my guarantee, if you will, is let's review it after 3 months. Let's review it after 4 months. Pick whatever time you want. But let's review it to make sure that we're both aligned. Are you happy with the service? Are you happy with the responsiveness? Are you happy with the value that we're providing? If you are, then let's continue. If there's a complete imbalance between the money and the value, then let's talk about it. Let's resolve that so that way we can have a fruitful relationship moving forward.
And so what sort of law are you doing? Is it mainly corporate law or what?
Corporate law and employment law, representing companies so that way they don't violate the labor law.
So if there are business owners out there right now watching this, you'd be saying to them, hang on, there's a better way to do it. You don't have to do the billable hours kind of model with your existing.
There's a better way to do it, and the better way is to be able to have somebody come in and look at your operation like a doctor would and say, okay, you're running the risk of having a problem because you're currently violating the labor law. And if you continue to do it, you're going to be looking at double damages and one of the few provisions of the law that allows for fee shifting, which is you have to pay their attorney's fees. So if you're paying your attorney and you have to pay somebody else's attorney, you're fighting yourself.
Yeah, wow.
So when you get one of those lawsuits, you are going to think really hard, do I want to be in this position ever again? And if you're in that position, you've felt the pain. And after feeling the pain, you're going to say to yourself, I'd rather do it where I prevent these from happening. So that way you can look over our operations, make sure everything's running properly. If it's not, then help me fix it so we prevent this problem. I don't ever want to experience this pain ever again. That's the feeling of, I've gotten stung by a lawsuit and I don't want to feel this pain ever again. So I can come in and resolve the lawsuits for you, but I'd rather prevent them.
Yeah,
Focus on your business. So while we're focusing on the business as opposed to violations of labor law, I can help them grow mergers and acquisitions, purchases of different subsidiaries, and making sure that they're protected from a corporate perspective.
It's wonderful. Now, you spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, like an extraordinary, every day you're on LinkedIn.
Every day,
And you're posting, and you're not using AI to write your posts.
No, they're all come from up here in my hand. I type it out, and I don't usually do a whole lot of takes, but I will write out all the materials, 100% my material.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. It's a nice day. I'm on my way to visit one of my oldest and longest clients.
Why do you, it's a great way to connect, right? You wouldn't meet a former journalist who's doing, what I do now on the other side of the, it's just, there's no way we would have connected, right?
No.
But who else are you connecting with? Who's resonating with the work that you're doing? Because you'll share, well, talk us through the diet of what you post. There's some personal stuff, there's nostalgia, there's all sorts of stuff you like to put.
I've been posting probably for, I'd say, about 7-8 years. But during COVID, there was a period of time, so let's say March, April of 2020, it was a reflection of saying we have all this extra time, and what do I like? Well, I like cars, I like movies, I like sports, I like nostalgia, I like the 80s, and all of a sudden I started posting about these things. And I realized a lot of other people like it too.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to like it,
yeah,
but a lot of other people liked it too. And I became connected through the commonality. Somebody else who likes the Yankees. Okay, then we had a commonality. Then I reach out to somebody, they reach out to me, hey, did you see the game last night? And we get to talking about something else. Or, music. Somebody likes music, I posted something about music. Or nostalgia, it's the commonality. We can find common ground where we can meet, we can talk, and if we can find common ground about music or nostalgia or sports, then we can find common ground about other things too. But I do reach out to a lot of people, including yourself. I'm not sure if you reached out to me or I reached out to you, but we're here.
Yeah,
it's proof that the system works.
And this is the first time we've met in person, right? This is
first time we met in person.
Yeah, like a year on or something.
Yeah.
But this is the power of a personal. What I would say, what you've got going here, what you've been doing, just naturally following your curiosity in this space and posting what you like. That's your personal brand, right? I mean, it's not just a lawyer sharing, things that you want your clients to know. That's useful to do that as well. But this is all of you that you most of you that you're putting out there, right?
Yeah, I never really thought of it as me creating a brand of myself, but it's less so a brand than it is somebody can get to know me and decide whether or not they want to have a personal relationship or a business relationship based upon what I post. Read my comments. These are my comments. Somebody doesn't sit behind my computer and
There's no assistant there kind of doing it for you.
No, nobody's doing it. It's 100% me. I enjoy being able to put myself out there. You got to make yourself vulnerable, but that's okay because you can't get to here unless you're willing to put your head on the chopping block.
It is a risk. It feels like a vulnerability, but I say to people there's power in that vulnerability. Is that what you sort of sense, or a strength in the vulnerability? There's
a strength in the vulnerability because the positive effects. If you never allow yourself to feel pain, then you're never going to allow yourself to feel love. You're never going to allow yourself to potentially get hurt. Then how can you experience the highs of joy and beauty, family, love, a connection?
Wow.
That's, to me, if you want to experience the highs in life, you got to be willing to experience the lows.
Yeah, well said. I can hear people thinking now, Stephen, I haven't got time for this. How do you find the time for it? But is it that you see the value in it, like the real value in showing up genuinely, that if it's half an hour every day, or maybe it's longer, that it's worth it? Or how do you prioritize this time-wise for yourself? How do you justify prioritizing it?
I justify it by, I remember the old days when you would go out and do a round of golf. 18 holes, 4 hours.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes into the first round, you know this is not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
You don't have that connection with the person, but you got to spend another 4 hours finishing out the round of golf. You're not going to walk off. Or how about the people who you'd meet years ago and you go out to dinner? Okay, you're going to spend 2-3 hours, and you can tell 5 minutes this is not going to work, or it's not really going to go anywhere fast.
Yeah.
So I remember the days where you'd spend 4 hours meeting one person, and you knew it was going nowhere. Take that same 4 hours and spend it by interacting with 2, 5, 10, 50, 100,000. Pick however many you want, but it's limitless. It's the return on investment. So the amount of people who we interact with in a short period of time, I don't want to say it's a numbers game, because I don't look at it as, hey, let's maximize the amount of people that we interact with. But if you're willing to speak to 100 people, if you get one good connection out of it, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
To me, it is.
The beauty of this is it's about efficiency, but it's about authentic humanity at the same time. Like because you say it's not a numbers game, but clearly there's a wisdom to it, right? This is about being efficient with you, because we've only got limited time on this planet, right? And so how do you have the biggest impact in a short period of time? And this just beautifully seems to be it. Show up authentically, put in the effort to just writing it yourself, iterate with what works, what doesn't, take the risk. You know, it's not a huge risk on social media either, is it? Like, you don't get trolls on LinkedIn kind of being cruel, or what kind of interaction, apart from, Australians saying, "Hi Stephen, can we connect?" What else do you typically notice with people, say around North America, around Manhattan? Is there like a lot of engagement with people that you don't yet know?
There's a lot of engagement with people that I don't yet know. There's a lot of opportunities. It's really the opportunity that excites me.
Yeah.
The opportunity to meet one good person. I mean, if you think about it, if you want to have a partner in life, or spouse, whoever that may be, you're going to spend, if you're lucky, your whole life looking for that person, and maybe you'll find them. You're going to find your one true mate. You're going to find your one true love. Not everybody gets that.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate that I married my high school sweetheart. We met when
really?
She was 14, I was 15.
Oh, brilliant.
So
What's her name?
my wife, Christina.
Yeah, right.
It's the same thing with LinkedIn. Do you go out on a date and you act like somebody else? No, you act like yourself. Be yourself. Be authentic. Let somebody love you or not based upon your own merits, based upon who you are. I don't try to be somebody in my regular life who's fake. I show up as myself. It's the same thing on social media. I show up as myself. I write the words. I write the comments. I don't put it through AI. I don't do any kind of filter. It's not somebody else who puts my face on. It's me, but I'm willing to be vulnerable to either spend a lot of time and get no return on it, or I'm willing to meet people and say, yes, it will work out, or no, it won't work out, because if you meet that one person like yourself, it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah. And I find it intriguing, your approach and how you found it to be successful, because a lot of people in those senior executive roles, the C-suite roles, they're getting advice from experts to say, you need to be this persona, present yourself this way. And I see it with media training, with that old school style of, you need to have voice lessons and use these phrases and speak in this way, and you end up sounding like a corporate robot. And I really don't see how it never really worked, because people could see through it. You might look confident, but people can kind of tell it's not the real you, right? Is that kind of what you've seen, or?
Yeah, fakeness is obvious. It's like a diamond. It may look pretty, but when you get down to the thick of it, it's fake. Who wants a fake diamond?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah. It's good to chat, man.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to chat with you.
Do you ever get sick of this view out here?
No.
How
Never.
long have you guys been here?
Almost a year and a half. No, sometimes I feel spoiled that in a nice afternoon, so we're facing the west, we're facing the Hudson River, the heat that comes out from the sun on a nice summer day, it's so hot that I have to put the shades down and periodically complain, it's hot in here, but it sounds horrible because the view is so pretty and so beautiful.
What do you think about as you look out there? What do you reflect on?
Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island. it's the epitome, the embodiment of opportunity. Maybe it's not the same as it was when people came from other countries to come here and actually came through Ellis Island, but it's the embodiment of opportunity. Opportunity, I believe, is still out there. You make the best of every opportunity that you have. I know I always have. I took every opportunity that I had, and I don't believe I squandered it. I used every opportunity to further my self, my education, my goals, my dreams, my aspirations, and being able to look at every day at Ellis Island and say, thank God I've been given this opportunity. I've been given a gift. And the gift was I had a loving mother who made sure that I got an education. And I took that knowledge and the gift of the education to be able to become a lawyer and hopefully help people out. At the end of the day, I'm hoping my legacy is not I helped save some companies money or I helped companies grow, but that I was a decent individual who showed passion and compassion when somebody needed it the most.
I've got this part of the personal branding course that I do with people where I say, because we all think we're going to retire at a certain age and then we don't really think about when we're going to die. But I say to people, just jot it out, every 7 years of your life from when you were born, and just jot it out and go up to 105 or go up to 112, and then just think, what would your life be like? How would that change what you think about the rest of your life, your legacy that you're going to, because from one point of view, we don't need to retire, right? We may work less, we may not earn an income from doing that work, but you look at Joe Fox, the chief, right? Meant to be retired, but still probably having a greater impact now than he did when he was a chief in the NYPD. How do you think about like the rest of your life and legacy? Because I know you like to give to others now and wanting to share your knowledge now, but do you have a thought about or a perspective? Do you ever sort of, not reflect on, but I guess look forward to what might be in the decades ahead?
For me, it's all about having no regrets. I don't know when the end is going to be, whether I'm going to live till 60, 65, or 105, but I want to be able to ensure that I live my life without regrets, that I can wake up in the morning or go to sleep at the end of the day and know I did the best that I could. And as being an attorney, part of it is if I'm representing somebody and I don't give them my best, I can't look at myself in the mirror. I would never do that. I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror and know I gave 100% every day. Anybody who pays you for service, anybody who is trusting their company, their legal matter, it's important to them. Who would want somebody who is willing to give less than 100%? Never.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to have to go back and say, what if I only tried harder, if I only worked harder, if I only studied more, if I was only a better person, every day I wake up and I say, I'm going to do the best that I can today. And every day when I go to sleep, I do a mental breakdown, real fast, of course, of did I do good today? Did I do something for the betterment of society? Did I do something? And if I didn't, then why not? Constantly doing a reevaluation so that way I can learn from my mistakes, learn from what I've done well in the past, and be able to move forward with a sense of purpose.
Make your mum proud.
Make my mom proud.
What do you think she'd say? Does she ever look at your LinkedIn and talk about your posts? Or?
Every day.
Does she?
Every day. How did you come up with this? How did you write that? I didn't realize you were such a wonderful writer. I'm like, well, I'm happy that you like the things that I write about. Recently I wrote something, or she found something that I wrote. It was about my stepfather who was in the Army. And I wrote something that I was very proud that he was a jump master. He was a master sergeant and a jump master, which is a master parachutist. And she didn't know that I wrote it, and she was touched by it. And she reads more of it. She said, how did you come up with this? And I said, I just write what's on my mind. I don't wake up in the morning and say, okay, I'm going to write, and then I post it today. I usually write something when it inspires me. I go back and review it, but yeah, she reaches out to me on regular regularly and says, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of everything that you did. It makes me feel good to be able to know that all the hard work my mom put into me going to college and to law school, that she knows that it wasn't a waste. She knows that it was time and money well spent. As if I was I'm the embodiment of her, I'm not sure what I would call it, the embodiment of her success through me.
Yeah, wow, beautiful.
Yeah. It's, and you mentioned Chief Fox. Who would have ever thought, when I first moved to the city, Chief Fox was the chief of the NYPD?
Yeah.
I just moved here. You spoke with Chief Fox?
Yeah, we met the other day for the first. There's been quite a week this week because I think I've been speaking to both of you, I don't know, 18 months, 12 months, something like that. And, talking whenever I come here, I say, do you want to get a coffee? And, sometimes it looks like it might work and then, it doesn't. And this week, I've met both of you in person. It's just extraordinary because to think geography, up until this era, geography would have killed any opportunity like this. Like it's the social media connections that keep me coming back because there's strong relationships being built through platforms like LinkedIn that wouldn't have happened before we all lived in. And so now it's just a beautiful thing that, there was an amazing event run for NYPD fallen officers on Sunday, and that was why the chief was in town. Actually, doesn't always come into Manhattan, and that's how we met. And then there was even other events that were happening around the 9/11 memorial. That it was more than serendipity. It was an extraordinary it wasn't even really more than a couple of hours that we spent, and here we are now, talking it all through.
What a fantastic opportunity to be given to speak with Chief Fox.
What's your impression of him? Because you've not met him yet in person.
I have not been given the pleasure. We've reached out by email through LinkedIn, and I reach out to him periodically to wish him well on Thanksgiving, Christmas, amongst a number of other people. I have a very strong affinity for military and police. They get my utmost respect. One of the things that I have posted regularly about over the years is the NYPD. When my personal opinion is the public needs to support the police officers who essentially write a blank check every day to the citizens for an amount up until including their life. They're putting their lives on the line to protect us. They deserve our support and our respect. And somebody like Chief Fox, who spent 30 plus years in the NYPD, that's dedication. You don't have that kind of dedication anymore. So many other people that I've been given the opportunity to meet, I'm grateful for all of those opportunities, and I think meeting with Chief Fox would be a hell of an opportunity, hell of a memorable event. Hope to be given the opportunity.
Oh, it's going to happen for sure. But even his content, for you and for him, you could just post about legal matters, right? And you could probably post a lot of stuff and it'd be very useful. He could probably talk about, a lot of things to do with policing and it'd be very useful. But when you look at his content, he's sharing so much more, isn't he? The hope that he speaks about consistently, and for first responders and in the PTSD sort of space and mental health, because they go through a lot, first responders, right? And so when you look at his content, what do you notice? What do you reflect on?
Hope, inspiration, leadership. It's obviously not an error that he became leader in the largest police department in the country. That it's not a mistake. He must have gotten to that position because he's a true leader. How many true leaders have you ever met in your life? A couple, maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
You mentioned before about what somebody posts about. I don't post about legal stuff. That's boring. You don't get to know somebody through posting about legal stuff, and it's boring. Believe it or not, years ago when I first started, I would post about legal stuff.
Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to listen.
They might have read it and thought, that's great, that and interesting, but they're not going to engage with it, are they? Because it's not you. It's just what you know. It's your IP.
What you know, but to me it's more interesting to be able to put yourself out there, to give of yourself and say, this is me.
Yeah.
This is what I have to say. If you like what I have to say, then let's continue the dialogue. If you don't like what I have to say, okay, you're entitled to your opinion. But it's more about, like we talked before, the authenticity of being yourself. No AI, no filter, no, this is it, this is what I look like, this is what I am.
Yeah. Man, you've answered every question I've asked you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else on your mind as we kind of just reflect on all of this?
How do you think we can move forward by being our authentic self in an era where AI and chatbots are increasingly taking over? How do we get back to people doing this as opposed to interacting behind a wall? And some people use that wall to interact, but they're putting up a fake version of themselves. It's not.
I find this so fascinating. On the flight over, I sat next to a guy who works in this space in one of the biggest companies on the planet in this space. In fact, he's just moving from one very senior role to another. And so when he spoke about AI, I was listening. And I mean, who can really tell where this is going to go? But even in everything he was saying, I kept thinking, as long as we're humans, right? Like, I don't know, like we're going to become part robots, or how are we going to interact with the technology may well change significantly, who knows? But as long as we're people, I can't imagine a world where, and I saw this, I've seen this for 30 years in mainstream media as a news reporter, if people had a hint of you being fake, it was the biggest turn-off. It always has been, right? That's not new, that's not just in a social media world where it could be AI or you. We want you, like this has always been how we like to interact. You know, you have it in customer service, like you're speaking to an automated, telephone, whatever it is, pushing buttons. It's not as real as having a person answer the phone and go, "Oh, good morning, Stephen. How can I help you today? Thank you for calling. What's the issue?" Like that's, I don't know. It's always going to be the case that human connection. Great when it can be in person, but when it's virtual online, it's got to be the real you. Like, and this idea that it's a time issue that I hear sometimes from people that they're saying it's I don't have time to make video content, and I reckon it's really they're just still scared, and I get it. They're scared to show up, like you were saying. You're making yourself vulnerable, right? But there's a strength, a superhuman kind of strength. I sometimes think of it as to show up like that.
To show up as yourself.
Yeah.
But in a world where it's not just, okay, you'd rather be the authentic self.
Yeah.
You'd rather interact with somebody who's authentic. But it seems that fakeness is becoming accepted.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. AI, that's becoming accepted. Diamonds. Fake diamonds now are acceptable. Lab-grown diamonds. So how do you recommend, or how do you think people can use their phone, their own, like you mentioned, their own video camera, your own studio, to portray themselves as what they are, more authentic? Is that the way?
I think, I've been holding it for half an hour here. Let me just change the grip. I mean, I feel like we're at the start of news media, which was traditionally the way that people would, look to get attention of large audiences in the mass media. And now it's shifting completely. The news cycle isn't what it used to be. News organisations aren't what they used to be. Journalism is changing dramatically. And I think organisations wanting to tell their own stories more and more, it's becoming a bigger deal. And we're just starting to see that we do have a story. We don't have to wait for somebody else to come and put the spotlight on us. We can start to just be our own storytellers and tell. I find when I work with a leader, particularly one that I've not met, just that it's such a buzz. They're on the other side of the world. I've never met them. They're telling me I no longer feel awful about going on video. I actually kind of like it now, and I'm going to start sharing my stuff. This is where it's all going, and I hope that for people that are still holding back, this is what I love to talk with people about. How can we make this work for you? But I think whatever avenues they find to make it work, the world is going to be a more interesting place with more real stories being told, not just so that corporates make more money. You know, as a news reporter, I was really just selling airtime between the commercials to keep, that's the reality of it, right? They pay my bills. It's the sponsors that pay for the commercials. And that doesn't compromise the journalism that you bring, was my belief, and how I operate it. But now there's just, I mean, you guys have an extraordinary number of practitioners here in your firm. They've all got personal stories as well as professional capabilities. And so to start to tell those stories, that's going to be great for the firm. Right?
Everybody has a story. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody now can tell that story just by picking up their phone.
Yeah.
So I did a fair amount of thinking about this, and I said, to try to differentiate myself and to continue to bring out the authentic me and say, what I'm writing, what I'm posting about, what I'm putting out there is me, is I'm going to do more videos.
Yeah, well, great.
I'm going to make a point of taking out the camera and videoing, and I'm not, without having any hesitation to say, is this going to be good content or not? I don't know, but this is me. And see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it'll go, but I think you've been the inspiration for me to say, you know what, I'm going to whip out the camera and I'm going to do more videos, because it's a new medium to be able to utilize, be able to conquer, be able to differentiate ourselves. I think our ability to do it so easily, like just pick up the phone, is going to be what people may expect in the future.
Yeah. They want to see the real you. I had it from one of my clients who's applying for a job, and they asked him to just do a short video, and he didn't sweat over it. He didn't overanalyze it, didn't over-prepare. He just showed up as himself on that video, and I think that could be a thing that more and more people do going forward.
I'm anticipating it being an interesting experience, and I'm hoping to be able to use it as a positive experience to encourage other people to do it too. Yeah. Flush out the fakeness from others, put yourself on camera, put yourself on the spotlight, show up who you are, be yourself.
Yeah.
Like me for who I am or don't, but this is the real me.
Well said, man. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you.
It was good.
It was a pleasure.
Cheers.
Damn, how do you do that?
I don't know.